permission and brought the police as an escort to the students who were against Gaddafi to demonstrate at the embassy of the Libyans. And then some shots rang out that nobody know where they came from. But the white folk claim it came from inside the embassy. And even Nightline last night playing the game about terrorists, getting down on terrorists. Anybody heard that lately? Conditioning the minds of the public in America. Got to stop these terrorists. So, all the white man has to do now is suspected or potential terrorists, or whomever, potential, goodness knows what that means. That's just anybody. Anyone that consider a subversive and draft resistors may eventually also find themselves caught in the broad Rex 84 net.
Google.
I'm reporting this to you. I hope you can tell I am. There seems to be no constitutional or legal precedent for such a staggering mass roundup of civilians by white American authorities in peacetime. Notice this is going on in peacetime. America is not at war with Mexico. This is going on in peacetime. The law is not drafted against Mexicans. It's drafted against all people in America. What pretended criteria will be used in deciding who is dangerous and who is not? What pretended criteria? If you sit back and watch this wicked plan carried out, then realize that the white U.S. government assumes life and death power over all citizens without your knowledge or consent. They now assume life and death power over all citizens of America without their knowledge or consent. These reported facts that I'm giving to you tonight mean that the U.S. government is now a totalitarian police state just like Russia. Absolutely no different. I told you some time ago, they just pretend to be enemies.
Oh.
They have black people in the cross between a rock and a hard place. You either go with Russia or you go with America. Both are white. Anybody get the trick now? See, both are white. And they sell you some outdated weapons that start a fight between you and your brother. And you and your own dark-skinned people like Iran and Iraq, who are both Muslims, say they believe in the same God. They're killing each other like flies. The more of them that kill each other, that's the less dark-skinned people white folk have to fight. Anybody understand the mystery? Any president can now use FEMA to seize control of the entire U.S. government by declaring, get this, by declaring a secret crisis that exists only on his say-so. It doesn't have to go in the paper. They don't have to announce it on the radio. It's just a secret crisis in the White House. On his say-so. And they can move every black congressman, every government official white, no matter what color he is. Move him out. And they will move him out. And the president could be a communist or antichrist. Because the Messiah is in this country. And Ronald Wilson Reagan is truly the president. And they plan to put him back in. And the Messiah is still in the country. So he could be communist or antichrist. He certainly will not be in my favor. Anti-Yahweh. Antichrist means anti-Yahweh. We now, and they know, the majority of our people in America are now saying Yahweh. Wherever they send black spies, our people are saying Yahweh all across the country. Wherever they send their black intelligence gathering agents, they have found our people saying, yes, I know Yahweh is God, and I like that. And then they read our literature, which says over 5 million readers. And you think white folk can stand over 5 million people in sympathy with our great, good, and terrible black God, Yahweh? You think they can stand that? Anybody getting the picture?
Here's the sounds of those trumpets. Those ships right there.
He can declare a secret crisis only on his say-so. Doesn't require nobody to agree with him. He could just have a bad dream one night and declare a secret crisis. And everything I've taught you thus far will come to pass. And that's not funny. To be rounded up and thrown in a fiery furnace is not funny. To be rounded up and thrown in the lion's den is not funny. You thought that was a story from the past. We're facing that now. They say, bow down and worship us as white people, as God, or we are going to throw you in the lion's den, or throw you in the fiery furnace. Oh, but in throwing us in the fiery furnace, I'm so glad that when they threw the 3 Hebrew boys in, that they looked around and found one like the Son of Man in the middle of them, standing the flame. Praise Yahweh. And I do make a difference. In their efforts to keep us in America against the will of Yahweh, in order to keep us in America, which is against the will of Yahweh, all white people have now lost their freedom. You didn't hear that, did you? I said, in their efforts to keep us in America, which is against the will of Yahweh, now all white people have lost their freedom. So now for the first time you have another scripture you can see is now fulfilled. Revelation 13:10. Come on, turn. Revelation 13:10 is now fulfilled. It's not going to come later. It is now fulfilled. They were looking for you and me to put them in captivity. But their own white brother had put them in captivity trying to hold us in. And they're still going to have to give us up, but they'll remain in captivity. Read.
He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
Hallelujah, Yahweh. Now they have led us into captivity. And they've been sitting around waiting on us to come up like we want to grab them and put them in captivity. But now Yahweh has maneuvered them in their desire to hold us in America. Now the white man has lost his own freedom. He's led into captivity with the law that he wrote. He has written himself into captivity. He's in it, though he may not know it yet, but he will know it. Isn't Yahweh awesome? Oh, I love the way Yahweh works. This proves that the only way white Americans can stay out of slavery is to let my people go from America. Exodus 5:3 says, we have met with the God of the Hebrews. You must let us go, lest he bring terrible plagues upon everybody in America.
It's happening now.
Can white America lose their civil liberties? First, the American people must be first conditioned by the media, the TV, radio, newspapers,